What up, dudes? MBR going to be bringing you kind of a different unboxing today. It's not really any kind of special unboxings unlike the stamps, or which were super cool by the way. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the stamps, or a brand new console, which I wish it was, but PC Master Race, fuck consoles. It's a bit different. It's more specialized for me. I'm going to be building a arcade machine. So some of you guys may have seen on the internet individuals that have built their own sort of full 6-foot arcade cabinet, and that's what I'm going for. I've seen these videos, I've been interested in it for such a long time. My teacher, when I was back at college a couple of years ago, built one around his house, and it was so much fun playing on it. He had every game you could imagine from Sega Saturn, Genesis, all the original arcade games, and he had 2-player joysticks, so both of us could play at the same time, which is really cool. And I'm going to be designing one myself. It's going to be around about 6 foot tall, and I'm probably going to be documenting it on my Facebook, and the link is in the description with pictures, and also I'll probably do some sort of short videos similar to this. In this video I'm going to be showing you all the cool buttons I've bought. I've splashed out about £250 in English money on buttons, and something else which I'll show you later of the video in this box, which is super cool because 250 quid on buttons is a bit expensive, but for me, it's a whole different ball game. I'm not very good with electronics, even though the wiring for the buttons may be pretty straightforward, and I don't know, I'm reasonably okay at carpentry. I did actually do a carpentry apprenticeship when I was a little bit younger, but I sort of packed it in because, you know, we want to be on computers, fuck doing all this labour of work and that. I'm currently building a shed at the moment, so I'm reasonably good when it comes to construction, so maybe it's something to do. Maybe I'll lose a couple of fingers when storing it off. I'm ordering some MDMF today, but I wanted to show you guys the buttons and see what you guys thought. If you ever interested in it, maybe if I remember, I'll try and upload some pictures of different arcade cabinets which I'm going to be, or which motivated me really to do it. But I've just booted up my PC. I had to reformat my laptop because Heroes was running at like 5 FPS for the whole, it's just for ages. And because I've done that, it fucked to my PC. Windows 10 could not sign into my account. I spoke to Microsoft. Listen to this, right? It's a bit off point, but I spoke to the Microsoft tech support. Went from sales, three different people to their tech support, who was actually, fully speaking, he wasn't a bot. At one point, she asked me to press Control Delete on the password screen, which I couldn't do. I said I cannot do this. She asked me if my computer was turned on. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious? And then eventually she said I can't help you. But I've been able to get around it because I'm super smart. But nonetheless, a ball ache. So basically what we have here, the least exciting part of the package, I guess, is a couple of wires. Basically the idea is with all the arcade buttons, they obviously need to be powered, but instead of having an individual power supply, I'm going to wire them to my computer's power supply. And then I have a rough idea how you do that. Basically, you've got that cable there should be a spare power supply cable once you open up your PC and you plug that in. That's what I've been told. No expert in this, but you know, it sounds pretty straightforward. Next up we have the buttons. There's 6 red buttons here. There was, I think, 5 different colour choices I went for. There was 18 buttons in the packaging. It was £90 for all the buttons of all the every cable I needed and whatnot. There were sort of cheaper options, but I went for a website called Arcade World, who specialise in this, and for me being a first timer, maybe I could have got it a bit cheaper on eBay, quite a bit cheaper, but it was coming from China, which I was a bit worried about. I've had stuff from China before, a laptop charger which actually caught on fire, which was fucked up. So I thought these guys, and they said they'd help me out for any need. So basically here what we have is all the LEDs. They will light up. I have to fit them myself, which effort. And then basically these bad boys, which are to do with all the electronics. I'm not sure how clear this is showing up, but I'll take some pictures afterwards so you can see it. But the main part, what we're interested in, is the actual the button. So this is the button here. Again, it's probably not focusing this camera. I don't know. But basically, you push this button down, and basically that pushes this inside. And once I connect the LED and also this here, what comes with it, to the blue bit I just showed you, basically it works. You know, or as long as all my wiring is correct. Here's like the motherboard. This is the main thing where all the wires actually go into. As you can see there, basically, you've got to be pretty delicate with the thing. It comes with a USB, sort of like firewire cable, so that actually plugs in by USB, and it installs all the software automatically, which is really cool. And you've got a shitload more wiring, which will connect to the pins, and you've got to butterfly them and stuff and whatnot. It's all a learning curve for me, but it should be super fun. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos of people who have actually built them and looking online, and I've got a good idea of what I've got to do, but there's one thing, having a good idea what you got to do, and then there's the next thing, actually pulling it off. So here is the motherboard. Basically this is what all the wires will go into, and then you have the little USB, connect it by USB, which plugs into the computer obviously, and then hey presto, it should work. And then I have to map all the buttons using a bit of software, but to be honest, mapping all the buttons on the computer is probably going to be the easiest part. So I'm not sure how many buttons I'm going to have for each player at the moment. Most people I see, they have the joystick, and then they also have 6 buttons per player. Whilst I'm probably going to go for that, I might add another 2. I have 18 buttons in total, so I certainly have a load spare, but you need buttons for like player 1, player 2, the credit, so you have to actually add credits in. I've downloaded some of the emulators which I was playing with yesterday, which I'll probably do some videos about that because it's pretty complicated, and if you guys are interested in seeing it, to do with the front end. So when you boot up your PC, it doesn't actually go to Windows, it goes to like this whole arcade thing, and you can choose all the games you want to play, and it was pretty complicated, but we got around there. The next button I have is a yellow one. I only ordered 3 of these. The main 2 colours I went for was blue and red, 6 of blue and 6 of red, so that's my main. I'll probably match them up. See, so yeah, yellow. Again, I do some close-up pictures, and then inside that bag is all the bits which were exactly the same as the last one. So it's going to be a lot of wiring, but it's pretty straightforward from what I see. We then next have up is green. Again, I only went for 3 green ones. It seemed like the best way to go was 6 red, 6 blue, 3 green, 3 yellow, and 3 rainbow. I'm not actually sure what the other colour was. Not too sure. We'll find out soon enough there. So again, green. It'd be pretty interesting to see how nice they actually look when they're illuminated. Some people said not to go for the illuminated ones. I was reading a lot of people's different thoughts, but I thought the illuminated looked pretty cool, especially when you're sat in the dark and you know, it's bashing away. It's all just going to be glowing, and you're going to have the music. So I'm going to have to actually get some speakers for it, and there's a lot. It's going to be a pretty big old process to what I'm doing, but at the same time it should be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping the main part, the hardest part, is really going to be cutting this wood. Once the wood's cut, you know, I'm going to have to do it outside. I can sit inside and sort of play around with it, but it's getting, obviously the wood is what's going to look, you know, it has to be cut perfectly, otherwise it's just going to look horrible. So that's the hardest part, because I'm going to have to cut it with a jigsaw and my shaky hand, or it'll probably be all over the place. So there's my blue button bashing away. And like I say, you can get all the original. I was trying out a game yesterday, Marvel vs. Capcom, one of the originals, which was pretty cool. You could play like Spider-Man and Venom and Hulk and stuff. I got pretty bored of it because all my keys were just messed up and I couldn't be bothered to do the key bindings at the time. But once it's all set up, it's going to be so much fun to play. And the last button, oh no, I think, so we had we have the player buttons. These are pretty cool. You had actually an option to choose them in different colours, but I just went for standard white for the player buttons, nice and simple. Again, these all do light up. Not sure where I'm actually going to place them on my arcade machine at the moment. We have player 1, and then also player 2, which I can't get asked to open the pack. I'm pretty similar. I've got the 2 people. Not sure why they're both men. It's sort of sexist or something. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on there, but so yeah, that's pretty cool. And obviously by pressing that activates player 1 and activates player 2. These arcade machines will work exactly how they worked in arcade or museum, not a museum, whatever you want. Arcade, I don't know what you would call it, an arcade place where you can play arcade games. Alright, now the exciting stuff. This was one of the main reasons I actually went for the package I did. It was a little bit more. You could get like a standard pack for about £70, which had everything you needed. But in the end I bought the buttons, which I think were about £47, and I had to buy all the cables with the motherboard. That was like another £40. And then I had to buy the power supply cables as well, which was probably, they were about £7 or something. But the reason I went for the package I did was this bad boy right here. This is obviously the joystick. But I just loved the top for it. I just thought it looked so badass. And actually, I believe it actually has an LED inside, or there's an LED somewhere which actually is meant to make it light up. I've gone for a blue one, the other one's a red, hence why I went for blue and red buttons. So that's super cool. As you can see here, you got all the wiring and shit, which should be a lot of fun doing that. What I'm originally going to do before I actually start cutting out the wood is I'm going to get like a plastic bit of cardboard and cut all the holes myself, and trying to see where I want it, because it's going to be quite important. You don't want the buttons too far away, you don't want the buttons too close, because it's just going to make it awkward playing and not as fun. So it's Yeah, it's going to be a delicate process, but I'm super psyched to actually get it done. It's been, like I say, something I want to do for years, but I was looking about it, and I thought the only way I'm going to do it is if I spend some money, and like I say, I chucked a lot of money towards this. So far, 250 quid, so I've kind of got to go through with it now. The wood's probably going to cost me the best part of £50. Obviously, I'll do the labour myself, so it's going to be pretty cheap, unless I'm charging. And this is red. It kind of looks like pink at the moment. That's what they did say. It would look like pink, but I believe when it's lit up, it will go red. Not too sure how it actually lights up, because it doesn't seem to be. Unless there's an LED inside, I'm not sure. Oh, the LED maybe comes up through the actual inside. I'm not sure how that actually works, but I'll take their word on it. But nonetheless, it looks pretty badass. I just have all the bubbles in it, and when I was looking at the picture when they were lit up, that's what looks so cool. So that is pretty much all my buttons. So I must have had another colour somewhere, which I haven't talked about. There's some missional colour. I don't know, let's go back on that. Maybe I've shown them all. Not too sure. Here, which I'm not actually going to... Or, if I tell you what this is, it's going to give away the big surprise, which is going to be the cool thing. So, I'll tell you about those in a second. What we have right here, we don't have one, ladies and gentlemen, we have two. Arcade light gun. How badass is that? So I've got two of these bad boys. This is what really pumped up the price. This website, actually, Arcade World, seemed to be the cheapest for them. I was looking on eBay because they're pretty. Well, they're just standard and like all the wires and everything. I could have got these from anywhere, but they actually seem to be the cheapest. And if I spent over £100, they actually gave me 10% off the guns, not off the buttons because they were already discounted or something. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So the other bits which I just showed you, which I'm not actually going to open because it's a bit boring, actually gun holsters, so I can actually screw them onto the side of the cabinet and the guns can rest there, which is super cool. But one of the main reasons I always wanted an arcade cabinet, and I've always looked on eBay, I wanted a House of the Dead. I don't know if you guys ever played it, maybe some of you are a bit too young for it, but when I was a little kid growing up, had a Sega Saturn and there was a game on it called House of the Dead, which was similar to Resident Evil. I don't know if you could say, well, zombies and shit, but it's like survival, and you go around and you see them all in the arcade, these survival ones where you've got the gun and you've got to shoot the zombies and all the big bosses come at you. They're really good games. You see them in the arcade, similar to like Time Crisis or Time Split. No, not Time Split, it's Time Crisis. You can even get that up and running, and I always wanted to buy one, but I could never actually find an individual House of the Dead machine. And I would have probably paid for a couple £100 for one. But instead, I've got the option now to actually build one myself, where I can have House of the Dead, I can have any game I want on it, which is super, super cool. So here's the gun. I wasn't sure what colour to go in. It was black, red or blue. I thought blue looked pretty cool. When I actually had a Sega Saturn, I used to have them in blue and they looked pretty badass. But in the end, I went for black. Look how badass that is. It's going to be, me and my buddy, because I got two of them. I think they're about £62 each. They're a little bit expensive. To be honest, like I say, they were the cheapest I found on the internet. It depends what use you're going to get out of them. For me, I found the arcade machine, sure having joysticks, but just popping there, guns, it's just going to be cool. Both of you doing the same thing, like Time Split's House of the Dead and whatnot. Got the sensor bar, both of them can actually run off of one sensor bar, which is really cool. So I'll stick that. I'm not sure if I have to actually whereabouts I place it, because there might be some wood in the way, so I might have to try and get around that. But it's super cool. I'm just so excited for it. Pew, pew, pew. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I've got in my box today, ladies and gentlemen. No stamps, no console, because fuck that shit. So basically the idea is I'm going to have to build all the frames myself. I'm going to order some MDMF, which is, I believe, 8 foot by 4 foot by 3.25 inches wide, which is like 18mm. That's what everyone seems to use. So I'll cut that down, do all the drawings myself. I'm going to cut it down and then basically screw it all together. And then I have to put a load of battens around it, and that's pretty much the base done. And then I'm going to build or I might build my own computer, I'm not too sure. I'm not going to put this fucking computer in, it'd be a bit overkill. You can run a pretty shitty computer in there, because the arcade games don't take much to run off of. But if you want to start running some higher end games in there, which I believe you could actually run like a newer version, the Mortal Kombat that's come out now, I believe you could run in it as long as you had a graphics card powerful enough. I do have a spare one from when I updated my PC, so I might try and build a computer myself for 200-300 quid and then pop that in there. Probably don't even spend that much, but it'd be nice to have something in there which can run everything. And obviously I can minimize it and use it as a computer still. I'm going to build a drawer so where you have all the buttons. So I'm going to have a drawer that actually comes out and you can have your keyboard and mouse, even though it won't be designed to use it like that. But you know, if you have any issues, it beats having to go around the back of it and taking the computer out, and I can control everything there. And it's going to be super cool. So I'm really excited for it. I've ordered all the bits, so I'm going to have to go ahead with it now. I'm going to play around with the buttons, cut some cardboard layouts. If you guys are interested in seeing some more stuff about my arcade, it should be a fun project. Like I say, I'll probably be posting more on my Facebook, and also if you guys want to see more videos of me talking about it and showing what I'm doing, then I'll be happy to do that. It'd be cool stuff. Regarding League of Legends, like I say, my PC was fucked up. It's been up for like that for the last 2 days, hence why I haven't really uploaded too much League of Legends. The video sat there, but it just got fucked up, which so is luckily you fixed it now. But I'm gonna have to really wipe my computer at some point, but it's gonna be a pain in the ass. But I'm actually in my promotions to Platinum, which is super cool. When I do get into Platinum, which will happen, I promise you that, I will be doing a free skin giveaway. I was meant to be doing one last week when I got promoted into Gold 1, but shit's got a bit crazy. But once I will be doing a free skin giveaway for you guys who love free skins. So who doesn't? Hopefully later this week. But I want to get to Platinum first before I do a video about that. But it's just been a bit hectic with my computer being fucked up and whatnot. It's just sucked. But the problem with me and my Platinum, I've already lost my first 2 games in my promotion, so I've now got to win the next 3 in a row. I failed in the first 2, and yeah, it was my own fault. But there we go. I'm rambling on about nothing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Super cool stuff. I will let you know and post more videos and on my Facebook. Links are in the description about it. Take it easy, guys. Peace.